And they're much smaller than Taobao, but their thing is fast delivery. They deliver pretty much everything you can at worst case scenario next day. But they have a night delivery service. So if you order by 3 p.m., you can get it delivered between 7 and 10 p.m., which is, of course, when you're home.
So that's like Amazon Prime, but faster.
But faster, Prime, right?
Yes, super Prime.
And there's a new 3-hour delivery service.
They use a drone to deliver?
So they do even better than that, one might argue. They have a proprietary last mile thing, which is, of course, how they can accomplish this. They use their own infrastructure. It's vans and electric bikes. Now, the cool thing is that it's the same dude that comes to your house if you order every time. So you actually get to know the guy, you develop a relationship with them. A lot of the business is cash on delivery, so you have to pay the person when they arrive, and it's kind of nicer if you know the person that you're paying, you trust them, and so on. And the cool thing is that you can track where your stuff is, right? So, you know when it's going to get to your house.
That's like Uber. You see it coming.
It's like Uber. You see it coming. Right, and as it goes from the van to the bike and so on, and you can get 3 hour. There's a 3-hour delivery service in a bunch of Chinese cities already. 3-hour delivery, right? This is the sophistication that Chinese e-commerce has reached. So pretty amazing. Alipay, which is another service of Alibaba, which owns Taobao, is a gigantic e-payment service. I think about 50% of all electronic payment transactions in China go through Alipay, and they're on a run rate of $1 trillion annually, right? I mean, we're talking about $1 trillion now, finally. PayPal, if I'm not mistaken, is about 180 billion, right? So they're a few times the size of PayPal, and it's not only online. You can pay for your taxi in Beijing, for example, with Alipay. A lot of the taxi drivers already accept it, so it's pretty amazing. WeChat. A lot of people have probably heard of WeChat as the WhatsApp of Asia, but it's actually a lot more than that. My entire social life in China revolves around WeChat. Literally every single person I know, everyone I've met in China is on WeChat. So I don't use email, I don't use phone, I don't use text messaging to communicate with anyone, only WeChat. It's actually pretty refreshing when your entire social life is on one platform.
Why is it so successful?
It's actually a really good product. It's incredibly complete. You can do messaging, you can do group messaging. It has an Instagram type feature called Moments, which everyone uses. So you don't really need to go anywhere else.
Is there a Snapchat like?
There's nothing Snapchat-like, but it also has these channels that you can follow. So you can follow, a particular news service, a brand, a celebrity, kind of like Twitter. There's a game center in it. I've not played many of their games, but they're pretty cool. You can put your bank card and your Alipay credentials in it, so you can actually buy inside of WeChat. So there's a famous McDonald's channel that you can actually buy McDonald's credits on WeChat, and then you get a discount when you pay at the store when you buy food at the McDonald's. We ran an experiment 2 weeks ago. We sold 150,000 phones on WeChat in 10 minutes. This is the kind of scale that you get in China. So pretty amazing. What else? Didi is a great example of Chinese innovation. Didi is like one of the Uber types of China, but they've built it, keeping sort of the local needs.
I had a really bad joke on the previous slide. I cannot do it. I was like, will I do this joke? No, I won't do this joke. No, sorry, keep going.
So bad. One of the problems in China is that addresses, the address system is not very rational. It's relatively common in Asia. It's even worse in Japan. So it's not easy to say, driver, come to this address. You kind of have to explain how to get there. So with Didi, as the passenger, you record a short audio message where you explain how to get to the driver. Of course, they'll see your PIN, but then they have to really get to you, and they will use the audio message instructions. And then you use the audio message to leave a little offer for the driver as well. Like in peak hour, you offer them an extra 5 or 10 renminbi, on top of the taxi fare, so that they are a little bit more